The story of Tom, the poor boy, and Princess Ella. Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom full of shining castles and rolling green fields, there was a poor boy named Tom. Tom lived in a small cottage at the edge of the kingdom, far away from the palace. His family had little money, and every day, Tom worked hard in the fields, tending to animals, and helping his parents with whatever they could not do. Even though his life was not easy, Tom was always cheerful and kind. He had a heart full of dreams, and he often looked up at the grand castle and wondered what it would be like to live there. In the heart of the kingdom lived Princess Ella, a beautiful and kind-hearted girl. She was the daughter of the king and queen and had everything she could ever need: fancy dresses, shiny jewels, and the best food. But despite all the riches, Princess Ella often felt lonely. She longed for a friend who would treat her like a person, not just a princess. One day, there was a grand ball in the palace, where the king and queen invited all the people in the kingdom. Tom heard about it and dreamed of going, but he knew he couldn't. He had no fancy clothes, and the servants at the palace would never let a poor boy like him inside. That night, however, something magical happened. As Tom was walking home from his work, he found an old woman sitting on a bench, looking tired and cold. She asked him for help, and Tom, without hesitation, offered her some of his bread and water. "Thank you, kind boy," said the old woman. "You are generous, and I see your kind heart. Because of your kindness, I will grant you one wish." Tom thought for a moment. "I would like to go to the royal ball and see the princess," he said. With a smile, the old woman waved her hand, and in an instant, Tom's plain clothes turned into a fine suit, and his worn shoes turned into shiny boots. She handed him a golden coin and told him to hurry to the ball, but warned him, "Be kind and humble, and remember to leave before midnight." Tom was overjoyed and ran to the palace as fast as he could. When he arrived, the ball was in full swing. The grand hall sparkled with lights, and people were dancing everywhere. Tom felt out of place, but he gathered his courage and walked inside. When Princess Ella saw him, she was surprised. He was not like the other guests, who were all dressed in expensive clothes. Tom's humble nature and warm smile made him stand out. He didn't treat her like a princess. Instead, he talked to her as if she was just a person, and that made her feel special. The other nobles at the ball were shocked to see Tom there, and they began to gossip about him. "What is a poor boy like him doing at the royal ball?" they whispered. "He doesn't belong here." Princess Ella heard the whispers, but she didn't care. She was drawn to Tom's kindness and the way he treated her like a friend. They talked and laughed, and soon they shared a dance, their hearts both feeling lighter than ever. But as midnight approached, the old woman's warning came to Tom's mind. He quickly said goodbye to Princess Ella and rushed out of the palace, but as he ran down the steps, his suit and shoes turned back to their old, worn state. The guards at the gate saw him and, thinking he was just another poor boy, told him to leave. The next day, Princess Ella searched high and low for the mysterious boy who had made her heart flutter. She asked everyone at the ball, but no one knew where he had gone. She even visited the towns and villages, asking for any sign of the kind boy in the old clothes, but no one could help her. Meanwhile, Tom couldn't stop thinking about Princess Ella. He wished he could see her again, but he knew the difference between their worlds. He was just a poor boy, and she was a princess. He didn't belong in her world. However, Princess Ella never gave up. She believed that true love wasn't about wealth or status, it was about kindness and sincerity. After weeks of searching, she finally found Tom working in the fields near his home. He was surprised and nervous when he saw her, but she smiled and walked right up to him. "I've been looking for you, Tom," she said. "I don't care if you are poor. You have a kind heart, and that's what matters to me." Tom couldn't believe his ears. The princess wanted to be with him. He was overjoyed, but also scared, knowing the people of the kingdom would never accept their love. But Princess Ella was determined. She told her parents, the king and queen, about Tom. The king was hesitant at first, but seeing the love in his daughter's eyes, he finally agreed. The nobles and citizens were not happy. They mocked Tom and said that a poor boy could never be a good match for a princess. But Princess Ella stood by Tom's side. She showed everyone that love wasn't about riches or titles, it was about caring for one another. In time, the kingdom saw how happy Tom and Princess Ella were together, and slowly, the people's hearts softened. The love between them was real, and it brought joy to the kingdom. The king and queen, seeing how Tom treated their daughter with respect and kindness, gave their blessing. And so, Tom and Princess Ella were married in a beautiful ceremony. They didn't need grand jewels or extravagant gowns, their love was all they needed. Together, they ruled the kingdom with kindness, compassion, and fairness. The people of the kingdom learned that true love had nothing to do with wealth, and they celebrated the happy couple every day. Tom and Princess Ella lived happily ever after, and their love became a story that was told for generations, one that showed that no matter how different you are, love can overcome all challenges. The end.